could save more and could spend more. Now, even though the amount of money is more because of inflation, and here's the thing. You hear the argument from the right, well, if we raise minimum wage, prices will go up. Prices have been going up anyway. The last time we had a minimum wage increase was late in the George W. Bush administration. Was it 2006, 2007? That's at least 13, 14, 15 years ago. That's the longest I've known us going without an increase in the minimum wage. And before that, it was almost a decade from when it raised from the 80s. So you're talking about two major increases in the course of almost 30 years. Two. Both of them were over the course of, 2, 3, 4 years? Something like that? So, I know people who have small businesses. And I know they're going to get hammered when these wage increases come up, minimum wage increases come up. It's going to happen, okay? How big of one we're going to get, we don't know yet. It may not be $15. It may be $12. It may be $10. But the fact of the matter is that we have to start increasing wages in this country. At the very least, to have it to where you have meeting the cost of living in this country. Especially consider how rents have gone lately. It's insane how they've gone. And it's amazing that people will do that. It's crazy. So yeah, it's insane. It really is. So yeah, the White House account has not updated yet. I just happened to get a pop thing on Twitter. I'm gonna check the POTUS account. Has that changed over? Nope. It is now got 1.2 million followers. It started up today when the transition took place. So yeah, I am. So now you can actually read it without going crazy. There's only one tweet so far. President Biden's. This is the first tweet on the POTUS account. Folks, this will be the account for my official duties as president at 12:01 p.m. on January 20th. It will become POTUS. Until then, I'll be using Joe Biden. And while you're here, follow FLOTUS Biden, Senator Kamala Harris, which will be changed, I'm sure, to the Vice President and Second Gentleman and Transition 46, blah, 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 blah. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I mean, it's a free country. But, yeah, I don't think we're going to have to worry about 3 a.m. tweets from Biden, okay? He will be asleep at 3 a.m. unless something, God forbid, happens to where he is needed to wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning, okay? Oh, that to me is like, it's one of those things that it's less about policy and more about the fact that I don't have to worry about hearing about him all the time on the freaking news. Yes, he will be in the news quite often. He is the President of the United States. Regardless of which party it is, regardless of who they are, they're going to be in the news. But there will be times where you don't even hear him in the news. And that to me is going to be wonderful. Because there won't be the combativeness they had under Trump. Trump's battling everybody. The problem was Trump was battling everybody, trying to act like he was strong. The reality was he really wasn't. He was being a jerk. He was trying to be a bully, and it failed. Now he's out of office. Now he's no longer president. And, yeah. But, and these right-wingers are going, oh, it's going to be the worst thing. No, it's not. Was it the worst thing that Obama became president? No. Obama got us out of the worst economic crisis we'd had since the Great Depression. That is a simple statement of fact. Now, granted, there was a lot of bipartisan support for that, and in retrospect, some of it may not have been as good as it would have thought. But the fact was, our auto industry was about to crash. The airlines were in trouble. Had he not done what he did, we may still not be recovered from the 2008 economic crash or economic collapse, whatever you want to call it. To me, it's like this. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm not happy that Trump's out of office. But I'm also going to sit here and tell you that I'm not jumping for joy that Joe Biden's president either. Yes, I'm happy he's president. I'm content that he's president. But I know that the man has faults. I know that there are going to be policies I don't agree with him with. And I'll be honest with you. I really wish we had a younger person in there, just like Joe Biden, just younger, that could heal the nation from what we've been seeing. And it's going to take some time. You're going to have people who are going to try and go crazy because Donald Trump ain't president anymore. But here's what I think is going to happen over the course of this next year. You're going to see the truth finally come out about what Trump's really been up to. And it's going to erode away at his base. Because they're going to realize, not all of them will realize this, maybe not even a majority of them realize this, but enough people are going to realize this that it will take away his effectiveness. First off, when they finally release his taxes, when you finally start seeing his financials and realize he wasn't what he said he was. And that's going to be painful for a lot of folks who supported him, because they're going to go, well, I thought he was a great guy. I thought he was this genius. No, he wasn't. He wasn't. You thought that he was something he wasn't. And unfortunately, this isn't anything new. You've been lied before. You've been lied to before. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. He can't run away from it anymore. He can't hide from it anymore. Like he did when he was president. He now has to face the music. He didn't pardon himself, thank God. He didn't pardon his family members. Did he pardon enough people to where they'll keep quiet? Of course, the problem with being pardoned is you can't use the Fifth Amendment. And that, just because you're pardoned does not mean you're pardoned from future crimes either. Let's say you were pardoned for a particular crime, but you're asked to testify and you lie under oath. That means you're going to be charged with perjury, and that pardon doesn't do you any good because you committed that crime after the perjury. It's going to be interesting what happens. So Trump's still going to be around. You're still going to hear his name and all that. But it may not be to what his followers like. And I think the next year is going to be interesting, to say the least. This year is going to be interesting. Like I said, I'm not expecting any miracles. All I hope for is for the pandemic to be gone and the economy to start to rebound. And to where I'm either back at my old job, which I'd love because I like the people I worked with there. Wasn't all perfect, but I liked it. Or at a similar job at another place. I sure as hell don't want to go back into retail. I want something that's as close to my old job and pay as I could. I know I'm not going to get it with the pay I'm getting right now for what I'm doing right now because I'm getting paid way too much, but there's no benefits. It's a part-time job. But, it is what it is. But let's temper our expectations for Joe Biden. There are a lot of folks on the right, on the left, who are jumping for joy that Joe Biden's president. There are a lot of folks on the right who are mad as hell about it or depressed as hell or who are thinking the sky is going to fall. It's not going to do that. Neither way. The economy will get better. The last two Democratic presidents have had to rebuild economies that were in recession from Republican presidents. We're now in recession. There will be a stimulus package, which we saw in 1993 and we saw in 2009, which helped eventually build the economy back up, which weren't particularly politically popular because of they did result in the Democrats losing the 94 and 2010 midterms, even though in 94 there was the House bank scandal, and in 2010 we had the Tea Party crap, which is where we're at right now because the Tea Party was basically AstroTurf. Wasn't grassroots, it was AstroTurf. Anyhow, I am not getting my hopes up too much. I'm keeping my hopes minimal. I'd like to be surprised. All I want is for this pandemic to be done by the end of the year, and that the economy starts showing signs of coming back. Because we're in a mess right now, folks. And Biden knows it. His team knows it. The problem is, can they actually do anything about it? That remains to be seen. But Trump's gone. He's no longer president. That makes me happy. And I think in the end, the people that will support him, some will never see the light, but some others will. And they'll realize, you know what, that was a bad idea. And this talk about Donald Trump starting his own political party, don't look too much deeply into that. He might do it, but as much as I don't like money in politics, big money in politics, I know how the way the world works, okay? I wasn't born under a cabbage patch. Or in a cabbage patch. If he were to form his own political party and try to split people away from the Republican Party, I don't think he's going to get the funding to sustain it long term. Because a lot of the die-hard Chamber of Commerce folks are always going to stay Republican. Or if not that, they're going to go Democrat. Because being Chamber of Commerce generally means you're part of the establishment. So, it is time for us to realize that, Donald Trump is all bluster and not a whole lot of steak. Okay? All sizzle, not much steak. Okay? I mean, some of us knew it from the very beginning that this was not going to go well. Okay? We told you this wasn't going to be good. Am I expecting a whole lot from Joe Biden? Not really. That's because I don't want to be set up to be disappointed. It would not surprise me if he doesn't make the whole term. It would not surprise me that 2 years from now, Kamala Harris is president and Joe Biden's retired or may not even be with us. But the fact is, it's the stability. To kind of bring stability back to things. And then we can work on the bigger problems. It's getting this pandemic gone. Now, some say, well, if it wasn't for the pandemic, Donald Trump would have won again. I don't think so. It would have been closer. But I think the Trump fatigue will still have been